Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us in the webinar this morning. This is Tom from VoIP Supply, and I'll be hosting here with Mark Carson from Sangoma. We're going to be discussing today the advantages of free PBX and PBExact. So some of the reseller benefits here of VoIP Supply. We do have our rental program, hardware and provisioning, our cloud span marketplace, which will give you access to service providers that we're directly aligned with. We also have fulfillment services if you needed to have things pre-provisioned, sent out to your customers, any kind of white glove type of scenario, we are able to handle that for you. And we also have our refresh and reclaim program, which can save you a significant amount of money on product, as we have all A-stock refurbished product in our refresh line. Comes with a standard 6-month warranty, which actually will be increased to a 1-year warranty soon. And on our website, you can find this page to become a Sangoma reseller. You can see there a quick little form. You fill it out, you submit it. That will come directly through to us and to Mark Carson, and we'll get you all signed up and approved. Get you loaded in your account with reseller pricing, and we can also further discuss benefits of being a Sangoma reseller if you call into someone like myself. And as I said, my name is Tom Uhteg. If you would like to join the VoIP Supply team, become a partner here with us, you can have my contact information there. Give me a call directly, shoot me an email, send a carrier pigeon. I don't really care which way you contact me, but just contact me. I would appreciate it. And on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Mark Carson, and he's going to go on a higher level here with the benefits of Sangoma Free PBX and PBExact.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate that introduction, and thanks everybody for joining today. Again, my name is Mark Carson, and I do work for Sangoma Technologies in the channel management group. Just very quickly, what we're going to be covering today is Sangoma Free PBX and PBExact, and when I say that, we're going to be kind of doing a little bit of a stare and compare as to why you want to sell your customers PBExact as opposed to selling them free PBX, other than the fact that PBExact doesn't have the word free in its name, which certainly makes it easier to collect money from someone than if you say, hey, here's your free system, now give me some money. We're going to talk about cost savings when you go with a PBExact, a cost analysis, and it's definitely going to help you and your customers. It'll make you more competitive, and it'll make your customers happy campers. And then we've got a quick little shot on marketing resources that Sangoma has to offer, and then we'll do a Q&A afterwards. So free PBX we're going to touch on quickly. These are some of the users that we have that are using Sangoma products. The reason that I'm bringing all this up is I want to let you know that there's an unbelievably large amount of free PBX systems that are out there in the world. These are just some users that we know of that are willing to let us use their names. You'd be amazed at how many high-profile names that we do have that don't allow us to use their name. Why they don't allow us, who knows? Maybe they're afraid of lawsuits or something, who knows? But at any rate, you've heard of most of these ones. So free PBX is probably the most prevalent phone system in the world today. There's literally millions of them installed that we know of. Keep in mind that if a customer installs free PBX and does not decide to register it, we don't really get that count. So we don't know how many of them are installed and never registered and just used as unregistered systems, because it is an open source product. You can do that. You can do whatever you want with it, actually. There's literally tens of thousands of installs per month that we know of, and even more of the actual downloads. So a lot of people don't register them for whatever reason, I don't know, but maybe they're trying to be tricky, maybe they're redoing it, maybe they're rewriting the code, who knows. So free PBX is an open source full-featured PBX system, has a lot of features on it. These are all the standard features that are in it, and there's probably more that we don't know of. And the ones that are in yellow are add-on features. So some of the things that kind of take the system from being, I guess for lack of a better term, a basic type phone system, basic PBX system, and turning it into a more high-level PBX system that offers all the features that the competition has. Keep in mind that we're competing with Avaya and Mitel and NEC and several other PBX manufacturers out there that have a whole host of features. So we have to keep the product kind of up to snuff with capabilities. So what we're going to talk about now is the PBExact system, and here's kind of what I like to show everybody now. We sell appliances. Obviously, we want to sell you our hardware. We like your customers to use our hardware. Free PBX you can download and put on any PC that you want, actually, or load it in a VM or what have you. But we also offer it on appliances. So for the purposes of kind of analyzing pricing, we've put this little chart together here. So if you were to sell your customer a 40-user system and you bought a free PBX appliance, it would cost you or the customer $695. The same exact appliance with PBExact on it is $845. Not a big price difference, about 150 bucks. So and we'll see later here that makes a huge difference because really you're not selling them the software when you sell them the free PBX appliance. You're really just selling them the appliance because the software on free PBX is open source. It can be downloaded. You could take an older system and wipe out the database that's on it, download the free distro, and install it appropriately. So we grow to many different sizes. In free PBX, we only offer up to 1,000 user. Actually, it's 1,200 user now appliance. We have a 2,000 and a 5,000 user appliance, but we only sell that and offer it as PBExact. Can you take a free PBX and make it go up to 5,000 extensions? You probably could, but you wouldn't be able to utilize our support structure in the event that you had problems with it moving down the road. So you'd kind of be on your own. If you purchase or sell a customer a free PBX appliance, we do have a mechanism that you can sell them to turn it into a PBExact system. So they're not stuck with free PBX if that's what you start with, but that we give you a methodology to move. So one of the things that I find extremely compelling about the PBExact system from the standpoint of you as a reseller installing it for the customer, we give you about 10 different configuration wizards built into the system. So we have here our guaranteed 10 users in 10 minutes. Trust me, that doesn't include unpacking the phones and removing the plastic bags and plugging in the coil cords, okay? That's going to take you more than 10 minutes. That's probably going to take you 10 minutes per phone. But the actual configuration of the system, you can go in, click a setup configuration, and it will go in and it will put the system settings. It'll set up the telephone apps. It'll set up an extension range. So it'll start at extension 4,000 and go up to however many extensions are in there. If it's a 40-seat system, it'll go up to extension 4,040. If it's a 1,000-seat system, it'll obviously go from 4,000 to 5,000. Excuse me. It's going to set up extension details. It's going to set everything up so that the system's ready to go. Now, it will not be custom tailored for this particular customer. That you'll have to do manually. In other words, what DID numbers ring into where, who's going to be in what hunt group. We can't possibly know that stuff and set it up with a configuration wizard in advance. So these are basically what you're able to set up very quickly and easily with the configuration wizard. So this is the simple configuration dashboard. Now, I don't know, I'm assuming that all of you have seen free PBX or PBExact. So there is a much more advanced mode that has all the modules in it. But what we did was we created a very simplistic wizard setup here so that you can add extensions, add an IVR, add an incoming route, change music on hold choices, set up a ring group, time conditions, endpoint management, and then advanced mode will take you into the actual full-blown programming mode. So let's say the person who takes care of the system is on vacation for a week, and you got to add, somebody has to add an extension. Well, even the customer can probably go in here, click on extensions, and add an extension, because basically all you have to put in is the person's name, what extension number you're going to use, and maybe one or two other things. Whereas if you go into the full programming mode, you see a great big huge list of choices that you can change, be very granular for specific users. So if I happen to go into the system and I click on extensions and I start to add it, and I do it through this simple configuration mode, if I need to switch over to advanced mode, I can just go up to the top and click on advanced mode, and it'll switch me into the advanced mode for that particular programming function. IVRs are extremely easy to set up here. You just turn it on, name the IVR, drag your audio file in that's going to come on and answer. Thank you for calling ABC Company. Press 1 for sales, 2 for service, what have you, and then put in your single-digit choices. Choice 1 goes to sales, choice 2 goes to service, and what have you. Very easy to set up. Conversely, in advanced mode, there's probably 150 settings for IVRs, all different kinds of things you can do. What do I do if they don't dial a digit? What if I do if they dial a wrong digit? How many times do I play them the greeting before I hang up on them because they didn't do anything, or what have you? So that's the simple configuration dashboard. It definitely makes it easier. Makes it easier for you if you bring on a new employee. You have to send them out to a customer's site. He could probably go in here and figure out how to add an IVR to the system very simply and easily, as opposed to having to know how to program the whole system, which, quite frankly, we have videos that we offer you as resellers to train on PBExact, and it's probably several hours of video training. And we also offer on-site training, or rather training in our facility out in Wisconsin, and that's a whole 1-week course. So there's a lot to it, but at the same time, you can get started and do a whole bunch of stuff very simply. So what are the big differences between FreePBX and PBExact? Both systems run on Asterisk. That is the toolbox, the engine that runs the phone system. It's the same Asterisk on FreePBX and PBExact. Asterisk, mind you, is also an open source product. What FreePBX and PBExact are is they're applications that run on top of that toolbox, and they're utilized for programming, because Asterisk is programmed with command line programming. So you can actually go into Asterisk and pull up, you know, like a C prompt and go into a config file and edit it and add an extension. And mind you, you have to put all these commas and zeros and commas and ones and extension number and forwarding and all these different features. You have to know exactly where they go, and they have to be done exactly right. If you save it and they're not, you can actually make the system be crippled. So with FreePBX, PBExact on top of it, it programs the Asterisk in a much more easy fashion. FreePBX is, again, open source. It says here that it runs on CentOS. That's actually not true. We've actually had to replace CentOS with what we call Sangoma OS. The reason being is that CentOS is also an open source operating system that you can download for free. But if you want to redistribute it, the people at Red Hat require you to distribute it exactly as they have given it to you as a free open source operating system. That wasn't very useful for us because there's so many different things on CentOS that we don't need for a phone system. For example, we don't need sound card drivers, or hundreds of video card drivers, or hundreds of network card drivers. So we keep all that stuff out, keep the system skinny, and then we don't need quite so many resources to run it. There's dozens of modules in FreePBX that are offered, again, and then there's upgrades literally every day, it seems, to some of them. But there is no software warranty because it's open source. So for example, let's say you have a FreePBX system out there, and the system has a software glitch in it, and you can't figure out how to fix it. So you might have to reload from scratch. You might have to download the latest distro, reinstall it on the system, and start from scratch. So there is no software warranty on free open source products from anyone. That's the whole concept of open source. PBExact, on the other hand, is a commercial version. it is, as I said, the same code base as FreePBX, but it's a hardened version of it. So there isn't a lot of third-party add-ons that you can cram onto this system like there is with FreePBX, thereby making quality assurance and version control much stronger for us. So when you do contact our support department, we know exactly what's in there in the software, and we know exactly what's in there in the hardware if you use one of our appliances. That we have 10-step simple configuration wizard. It has way more features in it. We'll see that, I think, in the next slide coming up here. There is annual support maintenance plans available, and there is a software warranty provided. So when you purchase a support plan for PBExact for your customer, it comes with software assurance. So when the next release of PBExact comes out, you get it based on the fact that you have a support plan in place. We also give you a service level agreement on those support plans. So we guarantee that we'll get back to you in a certain amount of time, 4 hours, I think, for a standard issue, 2 hours if the system's down. So it just makes a whole lot more sense when you're looking at managing your customers' deployments to have it be something that you can not only know exactly what's in there, but your manufacturer partner can also know exactly what's in there. Makes the most sense for you. Okay, so this is a PBExact appliance. The same appliance is available for FreePBX, but the big difference is that included in the base package of PBExact are all these modules that are separate modules in FreePBX. Each one of them has to be purchased separately. Each one of them has to be updated on a yearly basis. And some of them can be quite expensive. For example, the Zulu UC client, which is baked into PBExact, is an option module on FreePBX. And we've got a little cost comparison that we got coming up here that'll kind of cover that. Endpoint Manager is available for Sangoma and Digium telephones. It is an add-on that you have to purchase for both FreePBX and PBExact for third-party phone support. High Availability is a module that's available on PBExact, but it is an option. High availability means you can have a second system in case the primary system crashes, all the phones register over to the secondary system, and you can continue to process calls while you're fixing the broken server or appliance. We also offer PBExact Property Manager. So if you've got any small hotels in your area that you do business with, you can actually sell them a telephone system for their hotel that has all the hotel motel features: wake up call, room clean and available, room dirty and unavailable, whatever the case may be. It gives you that capability right on the PBExact system. It's a pretty cool, saves the property owner a tremendous amount of money. Again, an add-on module. Then a couple more add-on modules that we have for PBExact are ExactView, which is like an operator panel kind of setup. Lots of granular information, not necessarily needed for everyone, but some customers use it. And then we also have a package of call center features that are options on PBExact. They're also options on FreePBX. So these are a list of most of the things that are baked into PBExact that are not on FreePBX that are options. Call recording reports. If you have a customer who records all his telephone calls or some of them, this gives you a methodology to search them out and track them down. You can go in and actually put in like a caller ID and it'll pull up all the recordings from that caller ID, or an extension in the system. So if you're trying to trace something back down, you know, a customer says one thing, the guy who answered the phone says something different. Now we can actually go in and find that phone call instead of having to dig through mountains of telephone calls. Class of service gives you granular control over extension capabilities. So you can create groups for the accounting department might be a class of service, and the ACD agents might be another class of service that you build, and it adds and takes away features. So you don't have to do everything on the extension level. You can do it on a group level. Conference Pro lets users control their conference room. Now, every single user on free PBX and PBExec can have their own conference room. I have one. I use it practically every day. But because of Conference Pro, I can actually go in and view it on my telephone, see who's in the conference that we're on right now. I can pull it up with the user control panel and see what's going on with it. So Fax Pro, typically most people don't use faxing on SIP trunks. They'll put in a POTS line for it because it works better. But you can use Fax Pro, and it is kind of a eFax capability. Again, it's included with PBExact. It's an option with free PBX. Paging Pro gives a lot of additional features to paging, such as valet-style paging. That's a type of paging where you pick up the phone, dial the paging, say, clean up aisle 7, and when you hang up the phone, it actually then makes the paging so you don't get feedback from the speakers, what have you. You can set up scheduled pages. Scheduled pages can be used for a school. You can set up a bell system for the school by using scheduled pages that actually just through the paging system plays a tone. To the end of class, 4 minutes later, beeps again for the beginning of class, beeps at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, whatever you want to do. You can also set it up to make certain announcements. So a retail store might put scheduled pages in to say, hey, look at the end caps down at the end of aisle 7. We've got, these wonderful deals. Attention Kmart shoppers, whatever. Phone Apps is a suite of apps that puts all our features and capabilities on Sangoma telephone's buttons, make them easier to use so you don't have to remember access codes. User Control Panel, device management that allows you to actually pull up as a user your telephone layout and actually change the button configuration on it. Now, we don't necessarily give this to everybody. You shouldn't give it to everybody because they'll go in and mess up their phone and then call you up with a service call. But it's a capability that you have, and it's very, very nice. Voicemail Notify, that can be utilized by a company who has, say, on-call support people, and you want to be able to take a call at night and maybe do something along the lines of build like a list where it calls the on-call guy, tries him again. If it doesn't get him, goes to the backup on-call guy. If it doesn't get him, maybe calls the owner of the company to let him know that the call wasn't done. And then you can pull up a report the next day to see, who responded to calls that were supposed to. And then voicemail reports. And it was probably more important in the days when storage was real expensive. Now it seems like everybody saves everything, but it's there, it's available if a customer wants to use it. So what we've done is we've covered a lot of the features and capabilities of the free PBX and the PBExact, and I tried to go as quick as I could because we try to keep these calls to half an hour. So what I did was I put together a little quick total cost of ownership kind of comparison between a free PBX. So if you download free PBX and put it on a PC, that will cost you nothing because it's a free open source thing. However, if you want the system to have the feature set and capabilities of PBExact, you're going to have to put in the commercial modules to make it happen. And free PBX has the ability to be full featured with a la carte modules, whereas PBExact has everything baked into the product. So free PBX, the system will have features and capabilities of the free PBX, but it will cost the customer a whole lot more over time. So what I did was I did a comparison between a free PBX 100 and a PBExact 100. So these numbers will shift around and be different depending upon the size of the system and which appliance you use and what have you. So what I did was I went in and I put together a configuration with a free PBX. I added every single module, commercial module, to that free PBX. Again, these are 25-year licenses that I put on here. So what it would cost you to the end user to purchase a PBExact 100 with a 1-year gold support contract, its MSRP is $1,645. the same configuration on free PBX with the same capabilities as the PBExact system with a gold support contract as well is going to cost $4,151 MSRP. Quite a big difference in cost there. It can certainly be a differentiator. But the thing that's a real kicker is the annual cost of support. So PBExact 100 system, a gold support contract is $150 a year. So that gives you software assurance, it gives you a service level agreement, and it gives you half an hour of tech support time. With PBExact, if you want the modules to continue to work properly, you have to update them. And they only come, for the first year, they come with 1 year of updates. At the end of the first year, they have to purchase a renewal of the updates on each one of the products, each one of the commercial modules. So the annual renewal cost for everything that we added to the free PBX system will cost them $1,689.12. That includes the gold support package, which for free PBX is $400 a year as opposed to the $150 a year on the PBExact system. So over a 5-year period with our analysis that we made here, the total cost of ownership for the free PBX system to the end user is $10,000, almost $11,000. With PBExact, it's $2,200. Now, mind you, there's other things that go into this, you know, how much you charge them to install it, things along those lines. This is strictly for the appliances and the software and the system. So it makes a tremendous difference to the customer and the total cost of ownership. And you can show that to your customers. So his initial upfront cost might not be as much because he may not put all those commercial modules in. He may not want Fax Pro. He may not want a CRM link integration, okay? So that would bring the free PBX cost down. But for the purposes of our comparison, I put it all in there. Okay, so free PBX is great. So why PBExact? Well, there's no charge for free PBX, but everything additional is a cost. We already talked about that several times. Free PBX requires knowledge and experience to set it up and have it run smoothly. There is no simplistic, easy setup wizards. PBExact is a finished product that allows you to concentrate on your business and not on a do-it-yourself telephone system. That's definitely something to think about here. Now, you're selling them these products, so your techs would be taking care of them, maybe not the customer, but conversely, you'd be amazed at how many customers start taking over support of their own system. So it definitely makes it easier with PBExact. You as a reseller, you have the option to sell product for good margin, and you can still add support, and you can still save your customer money year over year. So you're a hero all the way around. You win the business, and the customer loves you for saving them money, because basically it all boils down to money, right? It requires less time to set up the system, so your cost to deploy is going to be easier just because of the setup wizards, if nothing else. And then your customer requires less overall attention because the system runs more smoothly, because when we come out with a new release of our software, it comes out first on free PBX, and it gets debugged by the open source community who actually loads the new release. And then after it's been debugged for 3 to 6 months, it comes out in the PBExact version, which has already been debugged. And there's nothing worse than upgrading a customer to have him call you up Monday morning and say, my system's not working correctly. We've all had it happen to us, and it can be nothing but a nightmare. So I think that that's it on PBExact versus free PBX. So we wanted to real quickly touch on the marketing portal. Just very quickly here, you as a reseller, you have or can set up a portal account on Sangoma's portal, and we have tons of information in there. Banners, case studies, data sheets, logos. Keep in mind you have to belong to Sangoma's reseller program, which you can join through VoIP Supply, to actually use our logos on your website. That kind of gives you, lack of a better term, licensing. So very quickly, this slide's just going to run through. It's a nice automated slide. It's showing you how to go in, how to find something. You go up there, it has a search capability, browse for stuff that has that comment in it, click on it, and there's a picture of the phone that you were looking for. So you can download it, save it, send it, whatever it is you need to do with it. All the stuff's on there. Okay, well, that's it for the thing. Thank you so much, everyone. Do we have any questions that may have come in during the presentation? Haley and Tom over there?
Yeah, Mark, I did have one here. One of the customers here asked, if I currently have free PBX, how do I transition to PB Exact, and is it easy?
That's a very good question, because a lot of people go that route. If you have sold your customer a Sangoma appliance with free PBX on it, we offer an upgrade module to turn it into a PB Exact system. I think the price on it is somewhere around $200. What it does is it just gives you a new deployment ID that you plug into the system, and it converts it. It goes out to our portal, pulls in the software for PB Exact, and turns it into a PB Exact system. In fact, I believe that one of the VoIP Supply monthly webinars was actually on doing that. I think Haley was the one who actually upgraded a system right online live. So it's not hard to do. Keep in mind that Haley is marketing. She's not technical, so she was able to go do it. So we're all pretty pleased with the way that works. If you sell your customer free PBX that you downloaded off the web, you cannot convert it to PB Exact. You can do save some of the database attributes, purchase a fresh copy of PB Exact software only, and put that on their system, and then you'd have to reload manually all the pieces that you saved as CSV files.
We had one more here for you, Mark. You were saying the PB Exact has a lot of modules that you went through, and asking which ones are the customers most drawn to that you get asked about the most?
Probably the ones that we get the most sales out of are Endpoint Manager for third-party phones. We sell lots of that. But we also sell quite a bit of the Paging Pro, and quite a bit of the Conference Pro, and quite a bit of extension routing. Extension routing makes it easier to set up routing of calls from extension to extension. It gives you kind of a simpler way to do it rather than have to go to each phone and say, okay, now you forward here. Okay, now you forward here. Okay, now you forward. It gives you kind of a centralized place to do all that stuff. So those are ones that are definitely very popular. Some of the other ones, like Fax Pro, are not as popular as they used to be. Most people are using an eFax service, typically like our fax station solution that we offer through VoIP Supply, and that you as resellers can sell and make monthly residuals on. So I'd say that pretty much answers that. Are there any other questions that popped in?
Yeah, you know, Mark, one popped in here as you were talking about Endpoint Manager, asking if you don't have the Endpoint Manager, the third-party phone license, how difficult would it be to configure a third-party phone like a Polycom conference phone to a PB Exact?
Well, a Polycom conference phone, what you would do is you would create a generic extension in the system that doesn't have an Endpoint Manager template associated with it. Just be a straight extension. You would then give it a SIP password and a SIP username and a SIP password. You would then have to go into the GUI of the conference phone and go in and program the SIP settings and set in the URL or the IP address of the PB Exact system, and then put in the username and the password, and then the phone would come up and register and it would work. So if you're only using one or two or three conference phones on a site and you're using Sangoma phones for everything else, I certainly wouldn't waste money on the Endpoint Manager for third-party phones. If you have a customer that you're moving from some other, say a hosted system or something, that they decided they wanted to have a premise system, or you want to sell them our hosted stuff and they have, you know, Polycom phones, I would definitely invest in the Endpoint Manager because if you've got, a lot of phones to do, logging into everybody's GUI and redoing it can be quite cumbersome.
I'm seeing that was the last question I had here, Mark. I did want to thank everybody for joining us today. As I said, this is Tom Uhteg from VoIP Supply. We are part of the Sangoma family of companies. They are our parent company, so feel free to reach out to myself or Mark Carson. You have both our contact information there, and we'll be more than happy to assist you with getting a solution together with you, assisting you in getting signed up in the Sangoma Reseller program. And as I said, just kind of answer any questions or concerns you might have to better equip you to go out there and get this out to your clients.
I'm good to go. Thanks, everybody. And again, call us if you need us. We're here to help you succeed. That's what our job is. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.